Hi, this is Maxwell McDaniel with Austin A+ Homes, and I'm here with my co-host,
Dan Blasingame with Houston A+ Homes.
Houston A+ Homes. And today we're going to talk about offers. The most unusual thing about offers in a short sale process is that everything works backwards from the way it would normally work in a standard equity positions home sale. So, Dan, can you elaborate a little bit about highest and best offers when it comes to short sales versus highest and best offers in a normal situation?
Yeah, very much so. Actually, when you finally find out that, hey, this is going to be a short sale, you're in a negative equity position. And what that does is it opens up a whole genre. It's a whole new battlefield out there.
Okay.
That a lot of the stuff is so counterintuitive. Okay, I'll give you an example.
Sure.
When you're actually trying to sell your house and it's in a normal position or whatever, well, you want to go out there and try to buy. You want the highest and the best offer, of course.
Right. You want the most money for your house as you can possibly get for it, so that you can cash out.
It is very much so. Okay. If you're in a short sale position, what's counterintuitive to a lot of the agents, they have to understand also that the highest offer is not always the best offer. And the reason why that is that now when you're with negative equity and whatnot, if you're in a short sale, by law, you can't get, when a home is finally sold in a short sale, the homeowner can't get any money back. So what's happening is
hence negative equity.
Negative equity, yeah, that's what happens. And by the way, it doesn't have to be entirely upside down, just upside down enough to where, hey, at the end of the day, if it was sold, you couldn't pay the fees and this, that, and the other. That's still a negative equity position.
Sure.
Okay, where it's just, it can't be sold at this price. Okay, so with the negative equity, now it's the fiduciary duty of the real estate agent changes dramatically. Now it's not, hey, to get the highest and best offer. Okay, now it's to get the property sold, period. That is a sole single reason, responsibility to do that. Because particularly if you got a looming foreclosure, which is basically a hostile position that the bank is taking to go ahead and foreclose on the property. So now the agent's position is, hey, let me go ahead and find the best one out there. Now, as far as short sales, the mistake gets made with some of these agents is that they feel that they have to get the highest offer to make the bank happy. Well,
seems logical.
Well, it does, but the agents have to remember, and I know these guys, most of the agents watching know this, is that they don't work for the bank. They do not work. They're not there to mitigate the losses of the bank.
Right. The bank is really kind of takes a position in a normal sale of being the client here, even though they're not representing the bank, but they get to make the approval as if they were the client.
Yeah, that's what's strange about it too. Is that ultimately when these offers come in the door and they're looking at it, they need to look at, hey, which offer, and this I'll expand on that. Which offer is going to go all the way through and make this happen? For example, if somebody puts an offer on there, it's in a short sale, looking for loans or for lender approval and all that stuff. Okay, that's fine. If you have a cash offer that comes in the door, that's even better. And then if you have got an investors, and it sounds self-serving because this is who we represent, but you must understand, if you've got investors who understand the sales process and are willing to sit all the way through the process, 60, 80, 90, 120, 180 days, up to a year if it takes, which, Lord, thank God we're not in Florida because it takes up to 18 months. Yes, and they're known to do that and stay in the door. They want the property, they really do. They cost some money just to start the process.
Sure.
So, but they can stick to the process all the way through to make the sale happen. Okay, because there's other things that happen too with this thing. Even if against other offers, if you got cash offers as investors who do this, a lot of other things don't get triggered. Like for instance, if the repairs over $10,000 or $15,000, that affects Fannie Mae and some of these guys. Sure. There's other things that'll trigger it and shut down the whole process. Well, now that doesn't happen. Or usually over inspections. These guys, when they buy them, they buy the house as is.
Sure.
Okay. Ironically enough, and this sounds counterintuitive to a lot of these agents, a lot of them don't even ask for the seller's disclosure. Now, they want one. That's fine. But at the end of the day, they know this. These guys, they know your position. They know the seller's position. Let's say the seller lied on something or missed something on the seller's disclosure. Who are they going to sue? They don't. They don't care. It's to them. It's a numbers thing for them, and it's a negotiating thing with the bank. That's what they're good at.
Let me make sure I have this straight. In a negative equity situation, which is what a short sale is, the most important component of an offer is being able to get to the closing table.
Yeah.
And that comes along with cash and patience, because cash doesn't obviously have to be approved by any bank in order to get financed. And patience is something that investors have a lot of. when you're dealing with someone buying a house for their primary residence, they typically want to be in that house within 30 to 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
And many times with a short sale, those time frames can get pushed out to 6 months or more.
They can. You know, the funny thing about that is, whatever this is worth, is that, you know, let's say worst case scenario, these guys are very good. We have 85% close rate, 85 to 90% close rate on their houses.
Okay.
Okay, the irony is, worst case scenario, that little 10% or whatever, hey, let's say it doesn't happen. It's there. Well, the homeowner, if they're still living there,
Anything's possible.
Yeah, well, the homeowner just lived in a house for free for another 3 or 4 months, you know, without paying any rent or whatever if they're still there, you know, and hope to save a little bit of money for whatever to lease somewhere else or whatever the case is. So,
okay.
you know, but so always, always stop at a foreclosure. One last thing I wanted to mention about this whole situation is that, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, the idea is to stop this process. You know, get the house off the books, and and for the homeowner's sake.
Whose books are you talking about?
Well, you know, the homeowners, the banks, and the homeowners,
Mm-hmm.
because we understand this too. It's the foreclosure process and the short sale process. That's not the painful part of it. Most of the homeowners, and we know this, they probably a lot of times have been struggling with payments for 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, have been struggling, barely making by, and going through a lot of pain and anguish. And, ironically enough, we know that it's, this process is at the very end of a long process and very, very painful. Like I said, we've been there before. I've been there before. So, and we know that. And we've been thanked many times after, buying a house, people just thank you. It wasn't a matter of money anymore. I just wanted this to end. I want to get back on my feet and move on.
So it takes away the pain.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
I understand. Okay, well, I think that probably answers some of the questions that we may have had when we started this session. Well, Dan, I think that wraps up our segment on highest and best offers.
Mm-hmm.
As always, folks at home, if you have a question, feel free to drop us a line and we'll talk about it on one of our future video segments. Thanks again. I'm Maxwell McDaniel. This is Dan Blasingame.
Houston A+ Homes.
Houston A+ Homes and Austin A+ Homes.
Right.
We're signing off, but we'll see you again soon.